Hi everyone! Firstly, I want to thank you for all support that you've shown to me in my latest videos. I've really been trying to be consistent with them, and I'm really glad that you've been enjoying them so far. Today's video will be a little bit different as I'm going to focus on just one fat liberation influencer who you might have seen in the past few days on TikTok as she sauced quite a stir. The influencer's name is Jalen Official, and her content is focused on plus-size travel. On 12 of April, she posted this video, which, as I said, caused quite a ruckus in the TikTok community. I'm honestly speechless at the entitlement of this person. This is something prevalent in the fat acceptance liberation community. And the thing that I'm talking about is their entitlement not only to other people's space, but also to their money. We see this constantly with the influencers complaining about seating accommodations at the doctors, public transport, and restaurants. And if I just stay on this point, let's say all of the above would change their seats to be bigger to accommodate this community. What about the average person that would now be forced to seat uncomfortably because the seat would be way too big? If you're trying to eat and are seating on a chair that's twice your size, I don't think that's the most comfortable thing in the world. But anyway, let's get back to the video and dissect her points.
So you want to hear my hot take on plus-size travel and why I think every plus-size traveler should get a free second and even third seat on an airplane? Then you better keep watching and sign my petition to make some real change. Let's just state facts. Plus-size travelers need more space. And many people agree that plane seats are too small, even for the average size person. As a plus-size traveler myself, I know how uncomfortable and unsafe it can be to squeeze into a tiny airplane seat. We are not asking for special treatment or luxury accommodations. We simply want enough space to travel comfortably and safely without fear of being discriminated against because of our size. It's truly that simple. If you agree that every traveler deserves to fly comfortably and without fear of discrimination, then go ahead and please sign my petition and share it with everybody that you know. Let's work together to make air travel more inclusive and accommodating for everyone. I think every plus-size traveler should get a free second and even third seat on an airplane.
So, every plus-size traveler should get at least 2 or 3 free seats on a plane? What planet is this woman living on? It is unreasonable to expect at least 1 or 2 free seats on a plane just because of your size, because the airline company has a limited number of seats available for each flight, and those seats are sold to customers who pay for them. When you purchase a ticket for a flight, you are purchasing a seat on that flight, and the airline has the right to sell that seat to someone else if you do not show up for the flight. Additionally, airline companies have policies in place for passengers who require extra space due to their size. For example, some airlines allow passengers to purchase an additional seat at a reduced rate or upgrade to a larger seat or business class. However, these policies vary by airline, and it is ultimately up to the airline's discretion whether or not to provide additional seating or accommodations for larger passengers. Furthermore, expecting free seats based solely on size could potentially be discriminatory towards other passengers who also require additional space, such as those with disabilities or medical conditions that require extra room. Therefore, it is not reasonable to expect free seats on a plane based solely on your size.
Let's just state facts. Plus-size travelers need more space. And many people agree that plane seats are too small, even for the average size person.
The size of plane seats is determined by a variety of factors, including safety regulations, airline policies, and economic considerations. Firstly, safety regulations mandate a certain amount of space between seats to ensure that passengers can evacuate the plane quickly and safely in case of an emergency. This includes regulations that require a certain amount of space between rows of seats, known as the seat pitch, to allow for safe movement in the cabin during an evacuation. The width of seats is also regulated to ensure that passengers can fit comfortably and safely within the space allotted. Secondly, airlines have economic considerations when determining the size of seats. They want to maximize the number of seats on the plane in order to increase revenue, but at the same time, they want to ensure that passengers are comfortable enough to be willing to purchase tickets on their airline. Therefore, airlines often try to strike a balance between maximizing the number of seats and providing enough space for passengers to be comfortable. Lastly, airline policies may also play a role in determining the size of seats. For example, some airlines may offer a premium class with larger seats, while others may offer only one class with smaller seats to keep costs down. Overall, the size of plane seats is determined by a combination of safety regulations, airline policies, and economic considerations. While there may be some variations in seat size and spacing among different airlines and aircraft models, they are designed to provide a balance between safety, comfort, and profitability.
As a plus-size traveler myself, I know how uncomfortable and unsafe it can be to squeeze into a tiny airplane seat.
It is true that larger passengers may feel uncomfortable squeezing into a smaller seat on a plane. However, this discomfort alone does not necessarily mean that they should receive a free extra seat or that seats should be made bigger. As mentioned before, airlines have safety regulations that determine the size of seats, the space between them, and the maximum number of passengers allowed on a plane. These regulations are in place to ensure the safety of all passengers on the plane, as well as to facilitate efficient evacuation in case of an emergency. If seats were made bigger to accommodate larger passengers, this could potentially create a safety risk for other passengers by reducing the amount of space available for evacuation. Therefore, airlines must balance the comfort of passengers with safety concerns and regulations. Furthermore, providing a free extra seat to larger passengers would not be fair to other passengers who may have paid for their seats. This would mean that some passengers are receiving preferential treatment based on their size, which is not an equitable policy. Additionally, providing free extra seats could result in higher costs for other passengers, as the airline would need to make up for the lost revenue in some way, such as by increasing ticket prices for everyone. In conclusion, while it is understandable that larger passengers may feel uncomfortable in smaller seats, this does not necessarily mean that they should receive a free extra seat or that seats should be made bigger. Safety regulations and economic considerations play a crucial role in determining the size and spacing of seats on planes, and airlines must balance the comfort of passengers with safety concerns and regulations.
We are not asking for special treatment or luxury accommodations. We simply want enough space to travel comfortably and safely without fear of being discriminated against because of our size. It's truly that simple. If you agree that every traveler deserves to fly comfortably and without fear of discrimination, then go ahead and please sign my petition and share it with everybody that you know. Let's work together to make air travel more inclusive and accommodating for everyone.
The size of airplane seats is not discriminatory towards any particular group, including larger passengers or fat people. Airline seats are designed to meet safety regulations and economic considerations, and the size and spacing of seats are determined based on these factors rather than on any individual characteristics of passengers. In fact, airlines have implemented policies to accommodate larger passengers, such as providing seatbelt extenders or allowing larger passengers to purchase an additional seat at a reduced rate. These policies are designed to ensure the safety and comfort of all passengers on the plane, including larger passengers. It is also important to note that people come in a wide range of sizes and shapes, and the size of airplane seats is not solely designed to accommodate any one particular group. Rather, seats are designed to accommodate the average range of passenger sizes, while also ensuring that there is sufficient space for efficient evacuation in case of an emergency. Therefore, while larger passengers may experience discomfort in smaller seats on airplanes, this is not due to discrimination, but rather due to the practical constraints of designing a safe and efficient aircraft cabin. Airlines have implemented policies to accommodate larger passengers and ensure the safety and comfort of all passengers on board. This petition is one of the most ignorant and entitles things that has come out of this community. Our friend Jalen has posted a few additional videos, and this is one of them.
Have you heard stories of plus-size travelers being ridiculed, humiliated, or even removed from flights because of their size? It's a common fear among the plus-size community, and it's absolutely unacceptable. Join my petition calling on the FAA to require all airlines to have a written official customer of size policy for plus-size travelers. This policy will provide accessible additional seats, clear communication, reimbursement, accommodations, and employee training. As my petition states, all plus-size passengers should be provided with an additional seat or 2 or 3 depending on their size and need during a flight for comfort. Under this policy, airlines should also offer a straightforward refund process for those who are buying additional seats independently. Under this policy, employees must be trained to handle sensitive situations and provide appropriate customer service. Sign this petition to demand that airlines take concrete steps towards making air travel more inclusive and accommodating for all passengers. Let's ensure that everybody can fly comfortable without fear of discrimination. Sign my petition now. Link in bio.
There are several reasons why a really obese person might be removed from a flight, although it is important to note that this is a rare occurrence, and airlines typically do their best to avoid such situations. One reason why a really obese person might be removed from a flight is if they cannot fit into a single seat with the seatbelt securely fastened. This can be a safety concern, as the seatbelt is designed to keep passengers securely in their seats during takeoff, landing, and turbulence. If a passenger cannot fit into a single seat with the seatbelt fastened, they may be required to purchase an additional seat or be moved to a different flight to ensure their safety and the safety of other passengers. Another reason why a really obese person might be removed from a flight is if they cannot fit through the aisles or reach the emergency exits in case of an emergency. This can be a safety concern, as all passengers must be able to evacuate the plane quickly and efficiently in case of an emergency. If a passenger's size prevents them from reaching the emergency exits or navigating through the aisles, they may be required to move to a different flight or be denied boarding. Lastly, a really obese person may be removed from a flight if their size prevents other passengers from being able to sit comfortably in their own seats. If a passenger's size is encroaching on the space of other passengers, this can be a safety and comfort concern for those passengers. In such cases, the airline may ask the larger passenger to purchase an additional seat or be moved to a different flight to ensure the safety and comfort of all passengers. It is important to note that airlines typically try to avoid removing passengers from flights, and they will often work with passengers to find a solution that ensures the safety and comfort of all passengers on board. However, in cases where safety concerns cannot be addressed, removing a really obese person from a flight may be necessary. And here is another video.
Did you know that more than 1 billion people in the world are plus size? That's roughly 13% of the population. And yet, many airlines still don't have clear policies in place to accommodate plus size passengers. That's why I've started a petition calling on the FAA to require every airline to have a clear customer size policy in place for plus size passengers. No one should have to endure the discomfort, embarrassment, and discrimination that often comes with being a plus size passenger trying to navigate air travel. By signing this petition, you can help us demand that airlines take concrete steps to make air travel more inclusive and accommodating for all passengers. Whether you're plus size or not, everybody deserves to be treated with dignity and respect when they fly. Let's work together to make sure that the travel industry serves everyone, not just a select few. Sign and share this petition, and let's make a difference.
Seating arrangements on planes, like other aspects of aircraft design, are primarily based on safety regulations and economic considerations rather than catering to any specific group of people. These regulations and considerations aim to ensure that the aircraft is safe, efficient, and able to accommodate as many passengers as possible. It is true that some people may be larger than others and may find it uncomfortable to fit into a standard airplane seat. However, it is important to note that accommodations are already made for larger passengers, such as providing seatbelt extenders and allowing larger passengers to purchase an additional seat at a reduced rate. Catering seating arrangements to only 13% of the population, as you mentioned, could potentially create safety and economic issues. It is not practical or cost-effective for airlines to design seating arrangements that only cater to a specific group of people. Airlines have to balance the needs and comfort of all passengers with safety and economic concerns. Furthermore, it is important to remember that people come in a wide range of sizes and shapes, and seating arrangements are designed to accommodate the average range of passenger sizes while also ensuring safety and efficiency. Therefore, it is not necessary to cater seating arrangements to any specific group, as accommodations are already made for passengers who may need additional space or support. In conclusion, while it is understandable that some people may find standard airplane seats uncomfortable, catering seating arrangements to only a specific group is not practical or cost-effective. Seating arrangements on planes are primarily based on safety regulations and economic considerations, and accommodations are already made for passengers who may need additional space or support. Creating a petition to change airplane seating arrangements to cater to a specific group of people can be seen as entitled and ignorant for a number of reasons. Firstly, airplane seating arrangements are based on safety regulations and economic considerations, as well as the average range of passenger sizes. These factors have been carefully considered and implemented over time to ensure that airplanes are safe, efficient, and able to accommodate as many passengers as possible. Demanding changes to these arrangements without considering these factors can potentially compromise safety and efficiency. Secondly, creating a petition that demands special treatment for a specific group of people can be seen as entitled. While it is understandable that some people may find standard airplane seats uncomfortable, expecting changes to be made specifically for their comfort can be seen as demanding special treatment that is not necessarily justified. Lastly, it can be seen as ignorant to demand changes to airplane seating arrangements without considering the broader implications. Any changes to airplane seating arrangements would have to be carefully considered and could potentially impact the safety and comfort of all passengers on board, not just the specific group that the changes are meant to benefit. Therefore, it is important to approach the issue with a broader perspective and consider the needs and comfort of all passengers, not just one specific group. In conclusion, creating a petition to change airplane seating arrangements to cater to a specific group of people can be seen as entitled and ignorant, as it fails to consider the safety and economic considerations that have shaped these arrangements and may compromise the comfort and safety of other passengers. Instead, it is important to approach the issue with a broader perspective and consider the needs and comfort of all passengers.
Plus-size travelers need more space. And many people agree that plane seats are too small.
Now, I think this is an absolutely absurd take. Just because someone's overweight doesn't mean they're entitled to a free second or third seat. Now, me, I'm 6'4", so I'm pretty tall, and I know what it feels like to be cramped on an airplane. But my height is something I can't control, and it's just something I'm forced to deal with. But on the other hand, being extremely obese or overweight is something that is under your control. And someone shouldn't be compensated with free second or third seats just because of that. People are charged hundreds of dollars for being a few pounds overweight in their luggage. Why should it be any different with your weight?
Why I think every plus-size traveler should get a free second and even third seat on an airplane? Then you better keep watching.
Odds my take gets taken down as bullying and harassing. Hi, still a conversation that needs to be had. First story time. Back when I was 400 pounds, by the time I was 18, I was skiing in Utah with my dad. I was in college, I was like 20, 21 at the time. Yeah, 400-pound David skied for like an hour because then my body hurt so much that I couldn't go any longer, but I skied for like an hour. After skiing, we actually went to Arizona to go golfing for 2 days before I went back to school. And we were on this small puddle jumper flight. Really small plane. It was like 2 and 2. 400-pound David, waddling down the aisle, a little hunched over, getting myself to my spot. I look over at 4B, and I'm 4A. And in 4B is another 400-pound dude. I look at him, he looks at me, he was like probably in his 40s. I start laughing. What are the odds that two 400-pound men are about to be sitting next to each other on a small-ass flight? He wasn't as happy. He goes to the flight attendant and is like, hey, can we move seats? And it was a full flight. Who is going to change seats with a 400-pound person? No one. So we had like a 45-minute flight to Arizona, and it was a tough situation. Now, preface that because I understand what it's like to be 400 plus pounds and fit into a seat and need an extension and all that kind of shit. The reality is, most people who are overweight, it's your fault. You have lifestyle decisions of the calories you eat, how you treat food, how you treat fitness that has brought you to be that size. And every action has repercussions. And one of those is when you're significantly overweight, there are certain areas of life that it's harder. Finding clothes that fit is harder. Fitting on an airplane, going on roller coasters, doing miscellaneous, going on a hike. There are things in life that are harder at 400 pounds. If you want to live that life, live your life. You want to sit on the couch all day, eating cheesecake, cookies, whatever you want to do in your life is your life. I don't begrudge you for that. However, this is my issue with the fat acceptance movement and all this kind of stuff, is your actions and results have repercussions. It's not the job of the airline to bend over backwards to your lifestyle decisions. I feel more bad for the guy who's 6'9" or 7 foot on an airplane than a 400 pound person, because the 6'9", 7 foot person has no other options. Being significantly overweight is primarily a lifestyle decision. It's not easy to change, but it is on you.
So you want to hear my hot take on plus size travel?
Nope, because you have not thought about this for more than 30 seconds. I'm not going to do what everybody else did and attack how big she is, because I really don't give a fuck. If you're overweight and you want to stay overweight, more power to you. By the way, if you're one of the people that wants to change the way that you look rather than the way that the world operates, you can hire a coach like me. But anyway, let's think about this logistically. Let's say that we wanted to increase the size of seats on airplanes. That means either the airplane would have to get bigger or there would be less seats on each plane. Traveling by plane is already expensive and obnoxious as fuck. Imagine how much worse it would be. Okay, so we can't change every seat. We just have to offer the option for a bigger seat. We already have that. There's bigger seats on airplanes. There's first class. Oh, but Josh, they're more expensive. I want it to be the same price. No, you don't. No, you don't. Because then somebody like me who can fit in a normal seat has zero incentive to sit in a normal seat. I'm just going to buy the big first class seat that's cost the same. The reality is that everybody has the ability to fly in a plane. Some people just have it worse. Let's say you have some disease and you need to carry medication or special medical equipment with you. You have to pay extra to get that shit on the plane, or at the very least, spend a lot more time going through the TSA. That sucks, but you have to do it. Let's say it's not even physical, it's a mental disorder, and you're just extremely prone to anxiety attacks or crowded spaces or something like that. If you want to fly, you have to figure out the accommodations for that. People in wheelchairs, sure, they get to board the plane first, but it's still really fucking difficult for them to fly. So here's my final take of the day. Some people get dealt a really shitty hand in life. It's important that we develop the infrastructure so that those people can go do the things that normal people like me can. It does not mean that you are going to have an easy a time doing it as I am or anybody else, but it does mean that you can go do it. And you know what? If anybody has a solution for anything that I mentioned in this video, go ahead and let me hear it. Because if you can figure out a cost-effective way to get bigger people to fly, that's great for bodybuilders too.
Hear my hot take on plus size travel and why I think every plus size traveler should get a free second and even third.
You know, I'm just going to address the elephant in the room, the elephant being her, no pun intended. You just think money grows on trees? You want the airline to give you free seats? Do you know how many Twinkies a free seat is worth?
A plus-size influencer, Jalen Chaney, demands free extra seats on a flight.
As my petition states, all plus size passengers should be provided with an additional seat or 2 or 3 depending on their size and need. Airlines should also offer a straightforward refund process for those who are buying additional seats independently.
She believes that airlines are currently discriminating against larger passengers.
Let's just state facts. Plus size travelers need more space. We simply want enough space to travel comfortably and safely without fear of being discriminated against because of our size.
Some critics pointed out that her plan could push ticket prices up for all passengers, but Jalen says it's worth it. In a statement shared with Fox News, she said that these costs must be weighed against the benefits of creating a more welcoming and inclusive travel experience.